Hello everyone, welcome to the home of British motor racing, and for this weekend, British GT's big one. It's the Silverstone 500, 3 hours of racing coming up for you on Sunday. But we start, as we do every Friday, with the pit lane preview, and we're at the top of the pit lane here at Silverstone, where we find Brands Hatch winners WPI Motorsport. Michael Igoe and Phil Keane, of course, won first time out back in May. As a result of that, they carry the full 20-second success penalty on Sunday, which they will serve at the third and final mandatory pit stop. Bit of a different regulation here for our 3 hour race. There are 3 mandatory pit stops instead of the usual one. And we move on at that point to Toyota Gazoo Racing UK. Didn't see the best of this car at Brands Hatch, but it holds the lap record and qualifying lap record here at Silverstone from last season, courtesy of Sam Smelt. Expect that car to go very well in the hands of Scott McKenna and John Ferguson. We're going to try and do this one pretty quickly today because it is quite a long pit line and we do have 31 cars to get through. So, very quickly, Enduro Motorsport, a new team to British GT this season. Definitely didn't see the best of them at Brands Hatch. The car technically didn't even take the start after having an issue on the formation lap, but it did set the second fastest time in pro qualifying, courtesy of Marcus Clutton. Stellar Motorsport Audi there, GT4, again, did pretty well at Brands Hatch in terms of raw pace, but they had a penalty actually during the race which sort of prevented them from getting on the overall podium. Another contender, no success penalty for them on Sunday. The first of our race-by-race entries, and it's more than just a race-by entry. This one is going to go very well on Sunday, I think. Inception Racing with Optimum Motorsport. It's Brendan Aribe and Ollie Milroy. They went very well here last year. Should have been on the overall podium, but for an issue towards the end of the race. Fox Motorsport McLaren, sort of there or thereabouts at Brands Hatch, but yet to see the best of Nick Halstead and Jamie Stanley, I think. Same goes for Team Parker's Porsche, fresh from the Spa 24-hour test day on Wednesday. It's come straight here, along with the Inception McLaren you just had a look at. 6th place for Nick Jones and Scott Malvern at Brands Hatch. Empty garage, so we'll quickly move on to Sicily and their Mercedes AMG. Jake Giddings and Dave Whitmore. Bit of a learning exercise, I think, for those guys at Brands Hatch. Mercedes set the fastest time in qualifying in GT4 here last season. ABBA, 5th at Brands Hatch, but the best placed of the silver AM cars, Dad and Lad duo Sam and Richard Neary, should be another top 6 contender this weekend. On to SRO Motorsports and the new Ginetta G56 came within a puncture and 5 minutes of winning first time out at Brands Hatch. Expect it to go well again this weekend. Mark Sansom and Ginetta factory driver Charlie Robertson on board that one, a very rapid Pro-Am duo. New colours for Balf's GT4 McLaren this weekend. Jack Brown and Ashley Marshall have switched from a green base colour to this rather fetching black and yellow, thanks to their sponsor Expel. And then the 570S's big brother, the 720S. It's another father and son duo in the silver AM class. This is Proctor's Stewart and Lewis. On we go. Sadly, Academy's garage is down, so we can't have a look at the Mustang. That one would have been an overall podium contender in GT4 at Brands Hatch before it had contact in the opening stint. Should go well again this weekend. And onto a car that has a success penalty on Sunday. This is the Leo Machitsky and Dennis Lind Barwell Lamborghini. Finished 3rd overall at Brands Hatch, but had a slight issue in the pit stops with its GPS. That had the pace to win at Brands Hatch, make no mistake about it, and they were fastest in testing today. Sandy Mitchell and Adam Ballon next along in the sister Lamborghini. No points for them at Brands Hatch. They had that coming together with James Cottingham in the opening stint, you might remember, which ended up with both cars in the Paddock Hill gravel trap. But the upshot of that is no success penalty on Sunday. And of course, Sandy won the championship here last November by winning the race alongside Rob Collard. So he certainly knows his way around Silverstone, and the Lamborghini is quick here, as are Barwell, the only team to have won the Silverstone 500 more than once in the 9 editions we've had so far. This is the 10th anniversary edition of the 3 hour race. Bit of an interlude before we get to Ram Racing. This is the Ian Loggy and Yelmer Berman car. 4th at Brands Hatch, so no success penalty for them. Got to be a contender for Pro-Am honours this weekend, you would think. Sam DeHaan and James Cottingham. This is the race-by-race entry, which is doing the endurance races with us this season. And on we go. I said this would be quick, but I forgot how long this pit lane was, so might take a bit of time. GCAT's Porsche is back. Another race-by-race entry with us, one of 2 Porsches on the grid. And here's one you might not have seen before, Newbridge Motorsports Aston Martin. It's a full season entry, but it joins us for the first time this weekend with Matt Topham and Aston Martin legend Darren Turner. Interested to see how those guys go. Newbridge have only done one British GT race. It was here at Silverstone last year, and James Dorlin, who was driving the Aston Martin at the time, set the fastest time in pro qualifying. So they've certainly got the pace to go with a very striking livery on that Vantage. New team for us this year, Simon Green Motorsport, the Lambo, just being kitted out at the moment. Very carbon fibre look on that one. Lucky Kera and Ross Wiley. And on to Paddock Motorsports, a new name in the championship. They take over the running of the Bentley from JRM. Still Kelvin Fletcher and Martin Plowman on board, who own Paddock Motorsports. A garage full of tyres. There you go. It's all good content. And on to the largest team in British GT here at Silverstone. 4 cars for Team Rocket RJN this weekend. The 3 you might be familiar with by now. There's the 2 DDP McLarens on this side of the garage, and the non-DDP Silver Cup car of Jordan Collard and James Kell, which has a 10-second success penalty on Sunday. It finished 3rd at Brands Hatch. The other 2, number 3 and 4, well, they were in the wars a little bit at Brands Hatch, and we sort of await what those new DDP members can do. But this is the car that joins us for the first time this weekend. Mia Flewitt and Ewan Hankey are reigning GT4 Pro-Am champions. They make their GT3 debuts together in the same car, the same chassis that finished 3rd here last year with James Baldwin and Michael O'Brien. On we go to British GT favourites, TF Sport. We haven't seen them in GT3 for a while. Actually, here last year in November when they ran a race-by-race entry, and they're doing the same again this weekend. A couple of Aston Martin factory drivers on board for them across their 2 GT3 entries. Giacomo Petrobelli teams up with Charlie Eastwood in the 38, and then the flipped colour scheme, same colours, flipped livery on the 95. That features British GT race winner Marco Sorensen and Bonamy Grimes, who races with TF Sports in Asian Le Mans series. Century Motorsport had a particularly good Brands Hatch, let's be honest. They finished 1-2 in GT4. It's Gus Burton and Will Burns who take the full 20-second success penalty into Sunday's race after they won, whereas Andrew Gordon-Colbrook and Chris Salkeld, they get 15 seconds for finishing 2nd. On we go, and actually to the end of the pit lane, where we find Beechdean AMR, who finished 2nd at Brands Hatch. They get 15 seconds at their final mandatory pit stop on Sunday. Johnny Adam and Andrew Howard, of course, have never won the Silverstone 500. They won the last edition of it before it switched to a 3-hour race back in the days when they were running the DBR S9. So that just goes to show how long ago it was. Anyway, that's it for the pit walk. Please join us on Sunday for live coverage of the Silverstone 500. It all gets underway at 11:50. The race starts at 12:10. We'll see you then.